This is going to be a propagation video that shows progress with seeds that I have grown this year. So I've been going to various public gardens and collecting seeds, usually from around the base of the tree or sometimes from the tree, and mostly they're Acer palmatums, but there's some other trees as well, and all of them have been planted outside and just left to stratify over the winter outside. The treatment has been different though, because I haven't always been able to plant the seeds when I got them, and depending on the results that I've got, that seems to be the factor that has the greatest impact. So if I've taken seeds in the autumn and planted them in the autumn, then the germination rate was really high. Whereas if I took the seeds and left them in the shed or something like that, or put them in the fridge, then the germination rate is lower. That's not strictly true in all cases, but that tends to be the case. So I'm going to go through all of those seeds one by one after this intro, but I thought I would just do a quick summary of what I've done. So this is kind of like how I've grown the seeds. So I got trays which I put in. This one is just general purpose compost, and sowed the seeds, and then I've put this grill over the top, which is like, I think it's like, I don't know what it is, I got it from a garden centre, and I've cut it up into pieces and then screwed it in. And this is to protect them from the squirrels, because I've got a real bad squirrel problem in my garden, so they would have just dug all of this up. So everything has gone like this, and then when it starts to germinate, then I've taken this off and put them under like a big structure that I built to keep the squirrels out. So this is the situation, the growing situation. Let's get that out of the way. So I just wanted to go through the seeds that I've got. So this was the main project. So there was about 150 Acer griseum seeds, and one has germinated, and it doesn't look like an Acer griseum. So Acer griseum is a trifoliate tree, and here you can see that this is a single leaf. But my understanding is that the first few leaves that come will be like this, and then I'll get the trifoliate leaves. So I'm fairly confident that this is an Acer griseum. And just to have germinated one, I'm really happy about, and I am gonna try next year to be more successful, but this is an achievement for sure. It's not the end of the journey for this, so even if you get them to germinate, there's still quite a journey of endurance to get them to live. I think like getting them past 3 years old is an achievement, so we'll see what happens with that. So what else have I got? So the first seeds that I collected and that germinated were Acer palmatum Ueno-Yama and Acer palmatum Shishigashira. So here is a Shishigashira, and here is a Ueno-Yama. Now these were taken from arisings from a pruning workshop at Kingston Lacey, which is a National Trust property with a really good collection of Japanese maples and also a Japanese garden. So these were taken from a Japanese maple glade where there was a group of Shishigashiras and a group of Ueno-Yama. And there were loads of seeds all over the floor, so I collected them, some of them, and planted them straight away, and I would say that I probably got 50% germination rate, something like that. So super happy. And these germinated ages ago. So they were planted in, I don't know when, but like October, something like that, or September maybe. And these germinated like March maybe. So they were potted up ages ago. And the second set of true leaves are coming through on both of them. So it was great success with those two. And then everything else has just been potted up yesterday. So what have I got here? I have got a Liquidambar stiraciflua, maybe, or a weed. Only one of these. I've got some trees that I've bought, so when the true leaves come out, I'll be able to see if they look similar. What's this? Don't know what that is. So this is it doesn't look like an Acer palmatum, but it suggests, the label suggests it is. This is the one thing that is the lesson I've learned from this process, is labelling. It's so important, and never go anywhere without some bags to put seeds in, because you pick the seeds and then you put some in your pocket thinking that you're gonna remember them, but then you see another tree and you pick some more, so then you put them in another pocket, and then you see another tree and then you put them in another pocket, and then you've got all of these seeds in pockets, and then you forget which pocket was from which tree, and then you put them in the fridge. And then you come back to the fridge and see a load of seeds, and you're like, you don't even remember where they're from. So that's really, that's my downfall. This is perhaps Ostrya carpinifolia, which I think is the Austrian hop hornbeam, or a weed. I dropped this out when I planted it yesterday. I tipped it up and it fell out, so I wonder if that's going to survive anyway. This is a Cotoneaster, I think, with like the tree. I saw the tree from a distance and it just had this wonderful bright red berries on it. Amazing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. This is a Osakazuki. This is an Ulumus parvifolia, or parviflorum, Ulumus parviflora, I think, which is a Chinese elm, and I got the seed for this from Hyde Park. This is Acer trifolium, maybe. So I got the seed from under an Acer trifolium tree, but there were so many maples in that vicinity that I can't be sure that it's that. Now, again, this is a trifoliate leaf tree, and these don't look trifoliate, but probably the same with the Acer griseum. There'll be a few before you get them. And then finally, Stewartia sinensis. So I'm really excited about this one. This was actually picked at the end of January this year, and I've got loads of really high germination on this one. So I'm really excited about that. So those are the seeds, and then there's some more video will follow this showing showing me pricking them out basically. Not sure how interesting that's going to be. And then I also wanted, so I've been trying to propagate cedars from cuttings for ages now. This will be now my 3rd year, I think. No, this will be my 2nd year of trying to do it. And these are just 4 arisings from an air layering I've just done. So I thought I'd just stick these in this video, and then if they ever strike, that will be interesting for the future. So, they're just tips of branches that I needed to cut off, and I've just taken away the lower needles, and more or less these went straight onto the trunk, so that's like a heel cutting. So I'm just going to dip them in a rooting hormone and then put them into my, so this is straight cuttings compost. The reason I'm doing the dibber is I don't want to rub off all of the rooting hormone when I push it in. So I think these stand a good chance of striking because there's no buds on them. They were buds and they've budded out. So it's just new growth that will hopefully survive. So let's see what happens with them. So that's it. Carry on watching if you want to see all of these being pricked out of trays like that. So this is the pièce de la résistance. This is my Acer griseum, I hope. 1 seed germinated out of about 150. And it's a wonder it came up because this soil is really capped. Anyway, very, very happy with that. So, it's extremely vigorous root. So these ones have done the best of all, and they were collected on the 25th of February this year and pretty much planted straight away into beautifully sifted seed compost. And the tree is Stewartia sinensis. So these were taken from seed pods from the tree, which clearly didn't dry out and remained very fertile. And then here we have what I've labelled as Acer trifolia mixed. And I think what this is seeds from below an Acer trifolium, but there was other trees really near it, and so it wasn't clear if they were actually from that tree or not. Here another tray with some weeds, but some Osakazuki. So this tray seems to be germinating nicely, and these are labelled pyracantha, but I think they might be Cotoneaster. I think I've labelled them wrongly. Then in the middle it's Acer griseum, where it doesn't look like anything is coming up. Yes, that's one, but it looks pretty much like these. Maybe it's an Acer griseum. Then we've got here some Acer palmatum, unknown varieties, but I've just taken a few leaves off a tree as I've been visiting a garden. So I'm going to leave these in, and I'm going to leave this whole tray as it is. So here are two Acer palmatum Osakazuki. So that was an entire tray. So only two seedlings from that. But it's possible that I wasn't swift enough to get these into the tray and they dried out. So this, I believe, is a Cotoneaster, which I took from a tree's below a tree. Had beautiful bright red berries on it, and I didn't plant it for quite some time, but the seed was presumably kept moist by the berry. And then this, if the label is right, is a Liquidambar stiraciflua, which, if that's true, would be amazing. I'm just going to show the root on this supposed Liquidambar. Seems to have gone quite far. So this is a tray of beautifully sieved seed compost, but only one seedling. It's an Acer, but what it is, it came from a tree that was unlabelled. So I don't know what it is. So this was taken in January or February this year, and very low germination rate. So I would suggest the reason for that is that the seeds are dried out on the tree. So here I have some quite good germination. So this is Ulumus parvifolia. And then Ostrya carpinifolia next to it. Now these, I believe, are from Hyde Park. So they were taken end of November / December and planted fairly soon after. Now, question is whether that is a weed or not. I think it looks like it might not be a weed, so I'm going to transplant that. But these obviously are seedlings, so that's awesome. So this is the root of the first of the Ulumus parvifolias, and that's amazingly long. So I'm actually going to snip that to like a third of the bottom up, so that it doesn't go so deep.